in this episode of Impressonalities Podcast, I have a great honor to have Sarah Burrini as my guest. We are here still at the MoStrip Festival in Mostar. And how are you?
Thanks.
For my first question, because I think it was crowded day. You had many activities. So
I'm actually really great. I had a fantastic day at the MoStrip Festival, and I met very excited young children and people I had to draw for, and everything was very friendly. And yeah, I feel fine.
yeah, I'm very glad you do. Thank you for having time.
Of course.
For having this conversation with you. My first question will be, how did you get into the world of drawing? Not only drawing comics, but generally into the world of drawing. Was it from childhood? Was it through education? Was it a combination?
Well, I was one of those classic children who always drew. Like I drew in kindergarten, and then at school when you draw secretly in your little
notebook or something.
In my notebook or in the books. I even made little illustrations in the school books. And I always drew, and I think I also always read comics. So I used to go to the local library in Germany, and they had a certain selection of comics, like Franco-Belgian stuff mostly. And Donald Duck comics are really popular, like Mickey Mouse in Germany. And then in the vacation during the holidays in Italy, I had the Italian comics there waiting for me. And so as long as I can think, I was always drawing.
Were you trying to reproduce them, or you developed your own style?
Well, I think almost every artist I know first starts to copy his idols, because there's something captivating about it, which drags you into the world of drawing, and that is mostly you're impressed by what you see. So I first copied Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck. I had my own character, my own little bird family I started to draw, and yes, I never stopped.
When did you become aware of the concept of school, Francophone school, German school, etc.? And when were you aware of a drawer, a person who draws comics?
I think when I was a teenager, I started to look at who drew what comics, because I noticed that, for example, I have that I started to have favorite artists, like either in Mickey Mouse or in Dylan Dog. I started to see there's a difference. This one is
and
more.
There are millions of variants.
Yes, exactly.
Millions of variants.
And I started, I think, to develop a taste even for American comics, and I saw I like him and her, and okay, I will continue to read that. And then I started to really get passionate about the comic book history. So it must have been around maybe 14 to 16 years old, and yeah, I started to develop to be a nerd.
It's not a nerd. What was your education like? Were you educated towards drawing comics and arts in general, or into some other direction?
Well, in Germany, you can choose after a certain while in the gymnasium, how we call it, you can choose.
We also call it
okay.
General school. When you don't know what you want to do after elementary school, you go to gymnasium to postpone the decision for 4 years more.
Yeah, exactly. But at a certain point, you can choose your main subjects. And I think my first step towards being more interested in arts and doing, really trying to be an artist, was when we had to choose our main subjects, and I took English and arts. And then after school, the real deal started. I had to decide: do I want to really follow up on being an artist, or do I want to do something serious? Because I didn't know is it a career? I tried to applied for different art schools, but they didn't take me. So I applied at an animation company, and then they took me, and there I made training as a media designer and learned animation, and then I followed up with studying animation. So that's it was a little bit of a curveball way, but in the end I got my artistic education.
Of course, that practical education can probably be even better.
Yeah, I was really happy with it because learning about 2D animation, for me it was very close to comics. It was still not quite comics, but I loved animation enough that I saw the similarities, and I was very happy to learn how you can practically put your skills into use. And then I think I continued to work in animation studios, and then I finally thought, okay, well, animation is cool, but I really want to do my own comic books, because it's animation is I really enjoyed that, and I'm also a big fan. But it's more like if you compare, do you want to write a novel or do you want to do a film? And I still wanted to do comic books for myself. So I took that up by doing fanzines with friends. Pretty classical career, I think.
No, I think that nothing related to drawing comics is classical.
Yeah, it's true. There's
it gives you varieties. You can move in millions of directions.
You have 1,000 paths. Yes.
Yeah. Were you completely involved in digital world from the initial beginnings of career, or you were partially in analog world before starting with?
I was partially in analog.
I'm speaking about animation, particularly.
Yeah. Also, we started in the studio. We were already using, we used computers, but I learned, especially at school, all my teachers were still using 2D animation, like on paper cells and like flipping in front of the light table. And I learned that too then. And it was cool to learn about the basics, like later on, we used the computers, so it was kind of a fluid transition, and I was very happy that I got to know that I just had the impression of how to do it by hand. I mean, I still draw not only digital today, but I immediately noticed, okay, this is something, I think this might be more important in the future for me. So I was always very keen on learning how to draw digitally as well, in animation and in comic books.
Nice. nice description. And what was your first professional, let's say, engagement in the world of animation? Yes, or even before, I don't know. The first thing related to art for which you received money. Let's give it as a definition of professional, let's say. Was it published somewhere, or?
I think the first, if you want to look at it from that perspective, like when did I receive my first money?
Professional. I never said for myself that I'm professional podcaster because I spend money on the equipment. I don't earn money from podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sure.
That's the definition of professional. You earn money from that. Yes.
Yeah. I never thought it can be so simple. Yeah. I think that it would have to be the animation studio, because I was doing an internship, and they gave me internship money. So I must have been like maybe 21 years old. And I continued to do my training. There's a media designer and animator. And
what's media design?
It's back then it was really a mix of different jobs. It was I was trained to build websites. So in Germany it works like this. I don't know if it works like this here too. You have half of the time you switch between going to school and you go to the company. They hired you as a trainee. So I learned how to make print templates and websites at school, And then I came to the animation.
Only graphical environment or programming component
Also programming a bit, but more like about the design aspect.
CSS or something.
Yes, and then I came back to the animation studio for the other half of the training and realized that it had nothing to do with what I was learning at school.
Typically, yeah.
Yes, it's a system which was criticized
Practice
very often.
doesn't imitate education.
Yes,
that's the key thing of our lives.
Yes, exactly. And what would I have? Like, I didn't have to program or design any websites there. So in the animation studio, in fact, I was doing the thing I would have loved to do more, like drawing and learning about animation. So I was a little bit torn between during my school time between like, I'm confused. I'm not learning what I'm doing in the studio, but still, I'm okay with learning about doing websites or media design because I could put it into use later on when I was becoming an independent artist, and I can design my own book cover or something like that. So I know a little bit about the printing process, and in the end it was worth to endure this strange contrast.
The contrast, it all fits into a very large
it's just like maybe sometimes
publishing, let's say.
Yes, sometimes it's a bit too large because it's not necessarily that I want to do everything, but I can do not everything, but much, and I would have, for me, it would have been enough to be focused on drawing, but
it's simply not possible.
Yes, I'm not complaining because it's really I profited from that. So
you do a lot from your biography. I could see that you do a lot of things for children. What are the specificities of doing animations for children?
I did not do much animation for children myself, but I worked in that animation studio, and they were working for children's TV, for German children's TV. Like there's it's called the Transmission with the Mouse, and there at the studio we developed. Like the little mouse spots, and it's a combo, an elephant and a mouse and a team, and I could help out with assisting with the elephant animation, and then they had children book adaptations, and so I drew many animals, and I did cleanups and in-betweens and assistant work with many animal characters.
Okay, what are the things that you need to have in mind when you do something for children? Are there limitations?
Yes, there are limitations.
That you need to take care about?
Yes, I also do, I work for a magazine now, which is a children's magazine, and there are, of course, restrictions. Like, it depends on the age of the children and...
Target.
The target, yes,
okay.
Yes, and of course, like an 8-year-old understands different jokes than a 15-year-old, and you have to pay attention to that. Like, am I clear enough? But I think in my mind, if I would be, because I'm not the editor, in the end I don't make the final decisions, but I want to have characters which can be I can relate to. And you have to, of course, I mean, that goes without saying that you don't talk about plus 18-year-old stuff. And if it's for really little children, maybe don't try to be too cynical.
Of course.
Like maybe give them the children a little bit of ideals to aspire to. But personally, I don't like if it's like if you're too moralistic, if you're explaining to them how good people behave too much. I want to do, if I have a message, it's hidden in entertainment and in jokes, and mostly I think about what I wanted to read as a child, and I wanted to have fun. I wanted to have believable characters. But there's one thing, whenever we talk about media for children, children are a heterogenic group. It's not, every child is different, and sometimes we tend to say like, oh, children love this. Really? Does every child love this? It's children have taste too, and there are some children who are maybe they get a joke, some others don't get a joke, and I think it's important that you make it clear what you're trying to say, but don't over-explain. Just trust that children will get it, but you can't always catch everyone. It's like impossible.
And you cannot embed footnotes into
yes,
the text that you
exactly.
give,
And sometimes, like maybe parents have to explain something, or you have to live with the fact that some children didn't like what you do because they have taste. They're little persons.
Yes, of course. Do you think that from our time, I think that we are of similar age, let's say, the concept of drawing, individual drawing for children somehow changed? Because right now when I look at the characters who are shown for children on Cartoon Network, let's say, or children comics, are radically different from the cartoons that I watched as a child, in terms of lines, in terms of aesthetics, in terms of being attracted to them. For me, most of children's drawings, the drawings for children today look like something done with one hand.
Oh, well, this is depending...
Oversimplified.
Do you mean like animation?
I'm talking about basic design of characters, not only about their moves. I'm talking about basic design.
Okay.
If I compare Tom and Jerry with Pepe the Pig, or I don't know what's his name.
Well, I think you have to keep in mind that we have a different... animation is a very expensive media, and people were watching more and more television back then when the Looney Tunes were existed. They did not think about children as an audience. It was for everyone, and personally, my parents enjoyed the Roadrunner and the Coyote as well as I did.
And I always felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
I must say, I always felt sorry because he's so brilliant, and she says just beep beep,
stupid
and that's it.
Roadrunner. It's like I wanted to punch him.
She
in
has
his
no
little
identity.
beak.
She has nothing. Beep beep.
Yeah, it's like
she's fast and says beep beep.
We all hated the Roadrunner.
But that was the concept.
Yeah, it was.
I
the
also
concept
sometimes hated Big Bugs Bunny and his superiority.
Yes, because he's so arrogant. But the fact is that this was really clever for us because we get invested. Because they wanted this reaction. They wanted, it's a kind of an addictive feeling when you're
still
watching,
talking about it.
Exactly. So why just cut the Coyote some slack? So we are emotionally invested. We're feeling. Of course, I'm really amused and entertained and had to laugh a lot. But about also the creative ways of how we fell down the cliff. And this was. I don't think there was. Such a strong concept in the television world of children's media, because children is still, back then it was a fresh or new media, and the concept of having like certain transmissions for certain age groups, it was in development. And nowadays you have something like Peppa Pig. You would never say like this is also for adults. No, this is something which is clearly developed for children, and animation costs money. Again, they want to speed up the process, so in a certain way they have this very clear and minimalist design, and they use certain programs which are in favor of that style of animation. But of course it's very generalized, and there is complex animation for kids, like there are all sorts of movies and series. TV maybe maybe struggling, but I'm sure I'm forgetting some very brilliant TV series, and especially if you look at the Japanese market, they have such a variety of styles, and it's the size of the market which defines the details.
And dictates.
It dictates.
Dictates as well.
Yes. For example, like in Germany, it's very hard to find financing for animated series. So you have to be quick. You have to be. You have to find your shortcuts. And then, of course, there's a zeitgeist in aesthetics and.
I see the zeitgeist on the example of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I find that very interesting.
I watched or I listened to a podcast of two guys who are similar, somewhere about my age, and they were talking about the time when they both started to like pizza and ninjutsu. It was the time when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles originally appeared, beginning of the 90s. But right now they look like Arnold Schwarzenegger multiplied in 4 copies and
but this is a bit of a mistaken perception, because they started at comic books, and the Ninja Turtles were not innocent. They were not for children. They had much more complex design than nowadays.
Really?
So they
I saw them as a comic book. I saw them as a cartoon.
Yeah, but before that,
okay.
they were an independent comic book creation, and the cartoonists they sold the concept to TV, and then it was very simple concept, but they refitted it to be more mainstream. Before that, it wasn't...
To be smoother, let's say.
Yes, it was a really... it was an underground comic which was not so innocent. And nowadays, of course, it's a big license. Much more money is involved. But I appreciate that they're trying to, especially Sony Animation, which is kind of my favorite mainstream producer. They are trying to do something new. They are trying to integrate 2D and to combine 2D and 3D, and to find a cool design, which is also speaking to teenagers who are... if you look at TV, at all TV series, everything is very slow, and it's getting faster and faster. Also because our attention span with the internet and mobile phone, it's like
30 seconds.
Yes. So I think that Sony Animation picked up on that in a clever way. So I know people that are a little bit overwhelmed by the speed of those movies, but I think it might be appropriate for the age group and the target group just to get their attention and
to hold your attention.
Yes,
not
yes,
to get it in 30 seconds, but to hold.
Yeah, and they're trying to do something different with every movie. So it's I think Disney is falling short a little bit because they're trying to play it safe, and they're not. They're not the only. They're not creatively in power anymore, because again, they want to maximize their profits, and I'm sure Sony Animation wants to do that too. But at least I see that they found a way to do something new in style. But of course, things become more complex because they want.
Audiovisual requirements are higher, let's say.
Yes, and the stimuli, the audiovisual stimuli, they should be on point. They want your attention, like Spider-Verse. There's so much happening on the screen, but you're never bored. And I can understand when that somebody feels overwhelmed by it. But I personally, I'm a fan. I'm intrigued by what they did also with the Ninja Turtles.
Okay. For me, they just have too much muscle.
Well, okay, that might be maybe a matter of taste, that they could have a little bit more. They could cut them more slack. Like
yeah.
Maybe we'll have a normal-sized turtle in between. But they're ninja warriors.
Yes.
I don't know.
One more specific thing about you is that you have your own webcomic.
Yes.
How did you get the idea? As much as I have read from your biography, it involves the elements from your real life.
Yes.
Let's say, how did you get the idea? What is the reception of it like?
Mhm.
And,
Well,
how much time does it occupy?
right
to create
now
something like
I did one semi-autobiographical comic book strip or webcomic strip for 10 years, and this now is over. But I do have the side project which came from it, which is called The Part-Time Adventures of Nerd Girl. And yes, I don't know how this happened, but
How do you
somehow...
pronounce it in German? Yeah.
Oh my God, die nebenberuflichen Abenteuer von Nerd Girl.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I thought it was something like that. Okay.
It's I wanted to make it sound very long and complicated.
Nerdy.
Yes,
Nerdish.
nerdy. Yes, because it's a parody. And it was when I started the webcomic. The idea of doing a webcomic strip came to me while I was in the USA in a comic book studio in Portland, Oregon. Nowadays it's called the Helioscope Studio. And there I met people. I remember it was Erica Moen and Dylan McConis and then others. They would do their own webcomic strips, and they had a reception, they got readers, and I was fascinated because they just made their own thing, their own stories, and slice of life stories, but with a special kick to it. And the idea grew on me, and I thought like, maybe, I want to have a recurring character, and of course, I was overthinking it. I was really thinking about it for too long. And then at one point I was like, okay, I'm done, I'm taking myself. And I think all the other elements, they came together by coincidence. Like I did a little short comic where it was also slice of life, but not yet the webcomic strip. And there was an elephant appearing in the strip, like he was, I think, impeding me to work, and he was like, it was the joke like I could not finish my work because an elephant sat on my computer or something like that. And it was really just as simple that I liked the drawing of the elephant.
Was it the same elephant that you mentioned that you drew?
Yeah, yes.
In animation studio?
No, that was a children's...
Okay.
This is a more innocent small elephant. Mine was filling the apartment.
Okay.
It's my own elephant. And I don't know why the pony was there, because in the comic book, in the webcomic strip, I live with an elephant, a non-talking pony, and a mushroom. So that was... it was not high concept, it was just, I wanted to break the ice to do my first comic, and I drew whatever seemed like a funny character to draw for me. And I did the first strips, and I published them, and somehow I never developed a whole concept for it, but the characters were, they all represented a certain side of me, like the grumpy elephant, that can be me sometimes. And so I continued to put them into my webcomic strips, and suddenly I had somebody to talk to in the webcomic strips, or my alter ego. And suddenly people started reading it, because I was posting them on local or the German comic book forums and social media. And there was a time where webcomics, where some artists in Germany were starting their own webcomics, so we were all linking to each others, and the readership was growing, and I had a very good experience so far with the reaction, like positive reactions, and but I've been doing that for more than 10 years, and after 10 years I said like, okay, I think it's I have told every joke, And whenever I restarted to think about a joke, I found out, oh, I already did that. Huh. So for a couple of years, I tried to create like new strips in a new format and to make it exciting for me. But then I thought like, okay, maybe it's time to say goodbye to my friends in the webcomic strip. Like I gave the elephant a goodbye story, and now
you didn't kill anyone.
No, oh God.
You didn't eat the mushroom or something.
That would have been an idea that maybe the elephant
overdosed
on
by
the mushroom.
eating hallucinogenic mushroom.
I will keep that in mind for a revival. But the one thing which still exists is like the superhero character. At one point, doing the webcomic, I did a spin-off, and that was Nerd Girl. And this was for me an excuse to do not only a strip but entire pages. And I'm still doing comics with her, and I'm still publishing them online on my page. And it takes, since I get money from Patreon, but it's not enough to keep it.
It is only in German.
It is only in German because it's such a
small community, probably.
Yeah, it's well, and also the humor is so specific, and I try to have it translated, and it's just it's also so that it makes so many references to German culture that I thought, okay, it needs a proper localization, and I don't know, it's
and then
too
the problem
much.
of possible footnotes.
Yes.
Would make it unreadable.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real. It was really too complicated, and I thought, should I invest time in the translation or localization or in a new episode? And so
new episodes, better.
Yeah.
Always.
So but that still exists, and I do that whenever I have time. So I feel really independent at that point.
Great. And you also have a podcast on your own.
Yes.
What's it about? Where do you publish? How do you publish? I'm talking as a colleague to colleague.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay.
There's a certain...
We agreed that the great thing on the internet about the podcast is that everything is somehow free.
Yes,
you
exactly.
can do everything free.
And that
you
was
need to have some equipment and record. And
yeah,
that's
that
it.
was always my deep. I'm still convinced that I want to make it available, like my webcomics, to everyone. And it works that people, if they want to support you, they will find a way through crowdfunding, like the Patreon thing.
Maybe buy me a coffee or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
coffee.
Yeah.
I'm using that too. And so I do We versus Comics, and I do that with my colleague Thorsten Brochhaus. It's a very German name. And basically what we do, we're talking about the meta stuff behind doing comics or being creative, which means we're not talking about specific books. We're talking about topics like when is it time to quit, for example, your webcomic, like what do you do when you have an artistic block? What's up with like German comic book scene news, and so we're talking. It's more like a philosophical rant, and I'm really enjoying it.
Specific topic, it must have audience.
Yes, that's mostly cartoonists, other cartoonists, but also generally artists. I get some feedback. Also, people who want to know more about the comic scene, or I heard it from musicians that they can relate to our topics because we all have the same problems in creativity, and
you must know where to stop.
Exactly.
It's very important. You must know where to stop and when to stop. Those two things are in creating music, in redesigning music. Yes.
This is also a topic, yeah. And so we are using that to rant, but also it's a therapy session for us as well. And
excellent, the best
possible
thing.
Yes, it's like people can decide.
It saves time and money.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and the people can decide if they want to take part in our group therapy.
Of course. What is your music? What are your books?
My books, my music. Oh my God, this is such a such a hard question, and whenever people ask me that, I feel like I'm always neglecting something.
Say first things that come to mind.
Well, of course, I still do read comic books. I love mostly what I found out that I do like stuff which has a little bit of magic realism in it, fantastical elements. Like I am interested in real world topics as well, but I like an element of absurdity. So music-wise, I couldn't really. I could never nail down my taste because I feel like I'm a music nerd. So.
Do you listen to music when you do
yes,
work on animations or
it always depends on what process, what part of the drawing I'm doing. Like when I'm creative and I have to think or write, I use soundtracks. So I do just instrumental music, mostly science fiction. Or I try to choose like the genre which I'm working in. So I'm
to
doing
make
a horror.
More atmospheric.
Yes, it's like I'm a I'm a nerd for this as well. Like if I'm drawing a horror comic, I will listen to some horror soundtracks, like Goblin or Alien soundtrack, or The Shining, Omen. It's like all this. Yes, I'm also a horror film freak. Not so much like the torture horror, but like psychological horror, but also science fiction. And I do like to read books with a magic realism aspect. So I can't really nail it down to one author.
You gave me the basic ideas.
Okay.
I must ask you, did you like the continuation of Wednesday?
I
must ask you that.
Wow, it's interesting that you're asking me that because I've been talking to friends about it.
First part was much better. Let's say.
Yes, it was much better, and I have many issues with it. There's an entertaining side to it, so that there must be something I liked about it because I watched the entire season. So I liked certain characters. I still like them, but I find it really difficult. It's really getting sillier, and I didn't
and
like.
She's becoming more and more annoying.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Because the problem is like, okay, it's amusing to have a character which is grumpy. Like my elephant character is practically Wednesday.
She's grumpy and she's smart.
Yes, but she can do too much stuff. She will never fail because she's a super woman without weaknesses.
Emotionally distant,
perfectly
capable,
and
intelligent, like
she had thousands of skills, and I would have liked her to. And then the gag is, of course, that she's always playing a one-note character, but that gets annoying and that gets boring fast. So I thought that they would maybe break it, like maybe have her show some more emotions or failing, like really failing, because whenever you have like. It's always boring when you see like, oh, she's struggling, but she will make it. So,
she will survive.
Yeah, she will always survive. So I wish they would be. It feels like a very one-dimensional character. So I don't know if I will watch the next season.
I must say that I will. My wife almost forced me to watch the first part, and I was amazed. Okay. With the first episode, I'm a fan of Tim Burton since the Beetlejuice, let's say.
Yes, I like him
that
too.
generation.
Of
but course. I didn't watch the second part. I'm still waiting. I don't know for something. But with Wednesday, it was something wow. And the second part, we watched it. We binged it in two parts.
Yeah, and stuff kept on happening.
There was too much things that do not look pleasant on the screen.
I didn't
proportionally to the duration.
I didn't like the creature design.
All those things were somehow that insisting on too much insects, on too much moving, small
Yeah.
moving things over the screen, it somehow overlaps with the true action.
Yes, yes,
The
that's,
character
they don't
of-
have a focus.
Yeah,
so,
the character of Belushi occurs as something important only in the last stages.
Yes.
Let's say.
Yeah,
And
and
all these things somehow ruined
yeah,
the
it was.
concept. I will continue to watch it, but that first impression, wow, was not any. You look like someone whom I can ask that. When I saw you, I knew that I will ask you that question.
Yeah, yes.
I didn't
you were
prepare you
right.
on that.
Yeah, but I was also like the first season I kind of liked, and I also enjoyed. I still like the hand. I still like everybody likes it, but then I thought like, oh, this is.
And I like the blonde girl, werewolf.
Oh,
Girl. I
yeah,
like her. She's great.
Yeah, she's
As,
really.
as a character, as
But
an actress.
Then
as
again,
everything.
I don't like the werewolf design.
Okay.
For me, it's like the idea was great, but then it was like I don't know. It's,
Okay, you have that perspective.
yeah,
You have that design
it's for me. It's like too much. They're trying to. It's okay to copy from other. Like
Yeah,
Harry
yeah,
Potter is
yeah.
a very influence. They're very obvious influence, but it's getting too silly. I like some of the creatures they introduced as an idea, like the sirens or something like that, or the gorgons. I like that. But then, please, I want to care about the characters, and I cared about the werewolf character. I didn't care for Wednesday because at one point it
She
was
will
like,
survive.
yes,
She will survive. She will
Yes.
survive.
yes, exactly.
Okay. Thank you very much for the
Well,
time.
thank you for having
Thanks
me.
a lot.
Thank you. That was a pleasure. Thanks. All right.